You're a mum, you're a mum, you're a busy mum. Come listen to the Busy Mum podcast. Life hacks and inspiration for the busy modern mum.
This podcast is sponsored by Boobs on the Run. Melanie Warman is the founder of Boobs on the Run. The entire ethos of Boobs on the Run is to teach women to not only run, but become inspirational women, carving out time for themselves and increasing their confidence. Mel has also started teaching children how to run properly as well. This business is called Kids on the Run. Mel was one of my very first guests on the podcast last year. You can learn more about her at episode 2. Mel and her wonderful team teach women and children how to run properly and sustainably. You can reach Melanie at www.boobsontherun.com.au or email her at info@boobsontherun.com.au. Okay, Elle, welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. How are you this afternoon?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on board. It's so good to see you. Finally, we both had very busy Fridays. So usually Fridays are the day that I record all my podcasts, but today's a Monday, so I'm going to be a little bit out of whack. So that's all right. Just describe for us who you are, what you do, and how you actually define yourself.
Gosh, righto, just jump right in there.
Yes, go for it.
I am an online business manager. So for anyone that's never heard of that term before, it's sort of a mishmash of a business coach, consultant, marketing strategist, and VA tech support.
What?
So I do I do lots and lots of things for my clients, but basically the overarching role that I have is to help manage their business so that they can move away from the day-to-day operations and back into that visionary role, behave more like a CEO in their own business, and I can do all of the more like day-to-day running stuff. So that looks very different in different people's businesses, but that's basically the role that I have.
And how did that come about? Like what were you in a previous life, Elle?
Yeah, for me, it's been an interesting journey. I've been running my own business and in this entrepreneur space for 9 years now. But my business has looked very different over that time. I spent the majority of that time actually working as a marketing consultant, business coach, and social media strategist. But nearly 2.5 years ago, I fell pregnant with twins and I got very sick very quickly. So my business sort of stopped overnight, unfortunately, because I was the only person working in it and I just was bedridden for the better part of 9 months. So when I decided to come back to work after the twins, I knew that I didn't want to go back to the consulting role that I had. I was seeing clients face-to-face about 20 hours a week, sometimes more than that. And I knew that I wanted to get back to business, but I didn't necessarily want to have to put makeup on and look acceptable and those sorts of things. So I created this new job for myself and utilized my web skills and tech skills and efficiency and systems. I nerd out a bit on systems and processes and stuff. So I sort of meshed all of those skills together and created what I thought was this new thing, but it turns out it's absolutely an industry. So, yeah, and I really love it. And I did it as a means to an end to get back to work quicker after the twins, but I won't ever go back to full-on coaching. I actually love this more. I get my hands dirty in people's businesses. We have a whole lot more traction because I don't have to wait for them to get over their mindset stuff or get over their life challenges that they have, running businesses with kids or whatever. I work with them. We work really collaboratively on the strategy and planning and stuff, but then I do a lot of the implementation. So the traction and the momentum that we get is a lot faster, and I'm just having a whole lot more fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is hard when you're waiting for someone else to do that other little bit of the piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And you're just like, come on, I'm waiting. Like once you've done that, then I can go on with mine. But if you're implementing everything, then you can work as fast as you want. I remember because I went into business when I was about 22 or 23 and I only lasted about 18 months. And then I kind of had a bit of a burnout breakdown because it was just you don't realize exactly what you're getting yourself into, especially at that age. But I found in a lot of businesses as well, I was just basically an admin kind of role, pimped myself out as an admin person basically, and charged them a lot for it. And training, I did some training, but that a lot of businesses are in a mess.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
and to be fair, so is mine at different times, because you do just get busy, and you get busier quicker than you expect, or you don't realize what it is that you're getting into. So you've got some bits sorted, but some bits are like completely like over your head. It's very common, and I love to be able to go in and tidy things up and make things smoother and easier for people. So all of the foundation is there, but then also they're week to week that they get some time back, because they're not chasing their tail, looking for files that they can never find, or, trying to remember how to do that thing that they do once a month. We just write a very simple process, and then it's quick and easy.
Yes, we have the once a month processes, and it's just long enough to forget, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you miss out that one step, which actually makes you 5 more hours worth of work, and you're like, oh God, why don't I just write it all down? So I've even done that in my business as well. So I totally get it. So you've got the twins, and you've got an extra child as well. Is that correct?
Yes, I've got a 9-year-old, and then I've got the twins who are 22 months old now.
Oh, so they're still really little.
They are, yeah.
Oh, and because they're twins, they'd be like, were they premature at all?
They were only 4 weeks preemie, and they were both really little. And Harry, my little boy, had some trouble in the beginning keeping his temperature and things, but we were really lucky. They were very healthy, and as soon as they put on enough weight, they haven't looked back really. Yeah.
Can I ask, when did they start sleeping through? Like both of them?
They aren't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. At least you're honest.
I think we've had like 3 nights where we've woken up and gone, oh my God, are the kids okay? Because it's morning and we haven't seen them yet. But no, they don't.
Well, my 6-year-old wouldn't even go to sleep until 10:30 last night. So it just, some days are great and other days are just shit.
Yeah.
So, to put it, so just describe for me a day in the life of you, Elle.
Gosh, well, my weeks are interesting. I sort of run 2 lives. My partner works fly in, fly out, and my older son also spends a week at his dad's house every other week. So I have 1 week where my house is full of 5 people, twins and my older boy and my partner, and then the other week it's just me and the twins. So the weeks look quite different. When the boys are home, there's a lot of running around and soccer and school and all of that extra fun stuff. But then when the boys aren't home, there's no one to back me up with the twins, and I'm doing it all solo. So, yeah.
That's going to be hard.
The most routine part of my life, and the bit that, I love and thrive on, is that I do have a nanny that comes in and looks after the kids 4 days a week. So from 8 till 2, 2 days, and 8 till 5, 2 days, I get to work. And that is consistent across my weeks. And that's really the thing that keeps me sane and keeps me happy.
Well, when they get old enough, that will become school. So
yeah. Exactly.
You just got to get to that point, don't you? It's like this year for me, like I've had both the kids at school, and I stupidly thought I would get more time, but you just fill it with more work. You really do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, what's the best advice you received? I just jumped straight into that question. There you go.
That's okay. The best advice in terms of life and kids and the juggle of it all was absolutely, I had my older son when I was only 23, and it was very unplanned, and it wasn't in a great situation in terms of relationship and things. So I was freaking out. I also at the time wasn't sure I ever wanted to have kids. So I was totally freaking out about how life was going to change and what I didn't know. I'm not one that likes to be uncomfortable or likes to not be like an expert at things. And this whole parenting gig was very scary. The best advice was actually from my mum, and she is the most incredible mother. She's very maternal. She's still like next level grandparent. Like she was put on this earth to nurture and to, mother people. And her advice was, you know, don't worry, don't panic. I've been a first-time mum 4 times because the kids are so different. You don't know what you're going to need to do until you meet them, and you just figure it out one day at a time. And that gave me so much like permission to just make it up as I go along. And it really has stuck with me. And then with the twins, having 2 at a time was a completely different experience. But that's just kept, you know, ringing in my mind. Like even my mum, who's like the ultimate mother, said she felt like a first-time mum 4 times because you got to figure it out each kid at a time. And
that totally makes sense though, because
it's so simple.
It is
but
simple.
For me, it's really been like, as I said, that permission to just make mistakes and figure it out. And you know, I'll just get to know this kid, and then I'll know what I need to do for them. And that's been really empowering.
Yeah, I thought like, with my first child, I'm like, she met certain things along the way, and I thought, that's normal. Then my second kid came along, and it was like chalk and cheese. I'm like, but why aren't you doing what she did at that age? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, why are you different? You came from the same parents.
Yeah.
Be the same. And they kind of look similar. I still can't see it. I look at them and go, nah. But when people from the outside look in and we're all together, they're like, oh God, yes, you guys are definitely a family. So, but yeah, I think one's more academic than the other. One's a lot more social than the other. And, you know, they love different things. And I'm still like, I still haven't had a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old yet. So next year's going to be different for me as well. Each year they have these personality issues that I have to deal with. You know?
Yeah, each stage has its own set of like wonderful things and its own set of challenges, and just making it up every day at a time.
It is. So I know that like my kids are a good form of entertainment, but where do you go to get your entertainment, Elle?
Yeah, I love the kids are great, and we've moved a lot in the last 10 years, but we have finally found our dream home, and we live in a really beautiful home. The house isn't too exciting, but the property is incredible, and we've got a lot of outdoor space. So one of the biggest things for me is the afternoons with the kids. This week, while all the kids are home, I was just saying to my partner, I'm going to work really early in the morning and finish at 2, so we've got those longer afternoons. Because I love that time outside with them. But honestly, the other thing is Netflix. I love it when they're all in bed and I can sit on the couch and veg out for an hour. And I don't do nothing very well, so finding interesting things on Netflix or interesting books to read keeps my mind busy enough but lets me sort of have that downtime.
Are you watching any particular shows on Netflix?
I actually just got Stan, and I'm like binging on Younger, which is a completely ridiculous show, but I love it.
So I watched all that. We actually cancelled our Stan membership because I was like, okay, we've got to cut costs because, you know, I like to do that occasionally. Like every year I'm like, okay, how can we pare it back down? And then it explodes again, and then you pare it back down. It's kind of like my weight, up, down, up, down.
Definitely.
But I was going to ask you as well, because you said you live on a property and it mentions here you're 30 minutes out of town. Do you have a veggie patch?
I do. We have a massive veggie garden.
Oh my God.
I love it.
I'm so jealous.
It's half veggies, half flowers actually, because my partner and my kids are much more excited about the flowers than the veggies. So we've got tomatoes and corn and lots of herbs and things like that. But then we've also got sunflowers and marigolds, and it's good fun.
Marigolds are good. They're companion planting, aren't they? So they attract all the bugs to eat those instead of your actual food.
Veggie.
Yeah. So what I'm having trouble with at the moment, like I've got my zucchini, which is like there was 3 beautiful flowers on there, and then the ants crawled all over it, and now I think a slug or a snail trail is all over it. I'm like, oh, how do I get rid of them? Like,
I know, they're awful.
I just don't know. Like I'm still very new to the world of gardening, and I get really excited when something actually grows, and then I get really devastated when the other bugs eat them. So I mean, it's going to take me a few years, I think, to master the art of gardening, but I'm not going to quit, so I haven't failed yet.
No. It's good for the soul. I don't even like worry about the the produce so much as it gets us all out in the garden doing something together.
You'd be like, this is a $10 chili. Look at it.
Yes,
Isn't it beautiful?
I know. It's ridiculous.
organic $10 chili. So do you use most of the stuff that's in your veggie garden in your dinner?
We do use some. We've only been at the property for a little while and the garden is pretty new. But, yeah, once it's more established, we'll use a lot more. Our last place where we had a big veggie garden, we used a lot of food from our garden. Yeah.
And what's your go-to dinner? What are you usually eating of a night time? Like, does it change when you just got the twins and then when the boys come home?
Yes. When I've got the twins, it's very lazy and I usually do like a pasta bake at the beginning of the week and then feed it to all three of us for many days in a row because I don't mind so much. The boys are much more fussy and prefer to have a different meal every night, so we spend a lot more time cooking the week that they're home. But definitely spaghetti bolognese and bangers and mash are the two go-to meals that I know all three kids will eat and eat well, and it's easy to cook. We have enjoyed cooking a lot this year. My partner doesn't eat veggies very well at all, so we've worked really hard this year to expand our menu from steak and potato. So we have lots of like fun cooking enchiladas and different things that the kids get involved in, but the bangers and mash and spaghetti bolognese are the easy ones that I know they're going to eat. So when we've had busy days, they're always what's on the menu.
You're lucky that your kids eat mash because my kids do not eat mash. And I'm thinking, what is the matter with you?
Oh, really?
They don't eat mashed potato. One will eat chips and the other one goes, I don't like any potato at all. She doesn't even like crisps. I'm like, what is the matter with you? Where, and
I don't know what I would do with a non-potato eater because that's a staple in our
Oh, my God. And when I was younger, I used to love mashed potato and mashed pumpkin. Like that was like if you mash it all together, it's pretty much baby food. But I love it. It's so delicious. Like who doesn't love pumpkin? Oh, my kids don't love pumpkin. I don't know where I've gone wrong.
No, none of mine will eat pumpkin.
What about sweet potato?
No.
Can you fool them with a sweet potato?
Sweet potato sometimes get a little bit in, but they all protest and prefer just straight potato.
Okay. Now, I just want to go back to, like we were talking off air a little bit about you host an event as well, don't you, each year? Now, talk to me about what that event is.
So that's called the Artful Business Conference, and it used to be annually. Since having the twins, we've changed it to biannually, and in the alternate year, we do a small retreat instead. So it's a 2.5-day business conference for creative, generally solo entrepreneurs who are really passionate about what they're doing. Our market is generally women. We've had a few men join us over the years, but it's generally mostly women. And it's just about like business skills and marketing and money management and all of that stuff that we were talking about at the beginning, that a lot of business owners don't really know all of the things when they get into business. But the real overarching premise of the conference is that like all of this best practice and all of this information is great, but make sure you align it with your values, with your passion, with what you want to achieve in the world, with the mark that you want to leave on the world. Because I think particularly women, particularly when we get into business after we've had kids, which is when a lot of women start businesses, it's because we want to solve a particular problem or we want to like fix an issue that we've had to face ourselves without a solution. And so we're generally very passionate about the outcome for our clients or those buying our products, which can then mean that the profitability and those things that a business would give back to a business owner aren't as well looked after. So the Artful Business Conference is about marrying those two things together. Let's make you sustainable, profitable, successful in your business, but while still making sure that we're aligning with all those values and the impact that you want to have on the world at the same time.
Yeah, I find like if I've written down goals that aren't aligned with my values, they don't give me those warm fuzziness feelings that I get.
Yeah.
So
which just means that you don't stick to them then. Like you can do all the best practice in the world, but when you're busy and got kids and have other things pulling at your attention, you're not going to work hard towards goals that actually don't mean something to you, like on that real core level. So I think it's better practice for your business to be aligned with your goals and to have that like values driven approach. But as I said, it's also then like achieving what you set out to achieve by having the impact, having that positive impact on the world. And for some people that positive impact is sharing their art and bringing joy. It doesn't have to be like, solving the world's food crisis, or like doesn't have to be an altruistic passion. It's just
you just said a big word that I did not know. Altruistic. That is, how do you spell that? I'm not even sure if that's the right way, the right place to put that in the sentence. But it doesn't have to be that like giving back to the world necessarily. A lot of businesses are about doing that, but as long as it's aligned with why you got into business in the first place. And as I said, for some people that's to share their art with the world and to follow this creative pursuit that they had. Some of our regular attendees are bookkeepers and financial people, and they're not creative or artistic in the traditional sense of the world, but they want to be making financial planning or business bookkeeping more accessible for people and more user friendly and those sorts of things. So that's what the Artful Business Conference is all about, is marrying your values and your passion with like sensible business practices so that your business is profitable and giving back to you as well as, doing what you want to do in the world. Awesome. And you're currently based in Townsville, that's right?
Yeah.
Yep. But you're going to have the conference in South Australia, correct?
Yes. Okay, it'll be in Adelaide in May 2019.
Beautiful. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there so everyone knew about it, because I did forget it at the top of the interview. So now we'll skip ahead back to where we were. And what is one area of your life you would like to improve?
Oh, I feel like I'm chaotic all the time, and I would like to improve my own organisation. A big part of my job is sorting out people's business chaos and making it manageable, and I'm trying really hard over the next couple of months to do some of that in my personal life. I feel like I'm always forgetting stuff at school. I'm always like forgetting the swimming day stuff, or I forgot that there was an event on Wednesday, so then I've got to move to client meetings so that I can get to the event, and all that sort of like chaos stuff that is just really exhausting. It's just really
at least you caught it, because I missed my child's end of year presentation award, and in the same week I also missed my other child's performance. I was like, I'm winning this week, aren't I? So I just have to kind of be a little bit kinder on myself. We've had a hectic few weeks.
Yeah.
And, you just like, you can't be there all the time. Like, unfortunately, like when you're running a business, and especially if your partner's away, like mine was away for a little while, and you got the two kids, like I've got the two kids, so you just can't do it all. And like the first time it hit me, I was very upset. But then when it happened again, I was like, okay, just got to run with it, right?
Just got to roll with it. That's it. And I just think, like, I just find that that's the stuff that at the end of the day feels so draining. So I'm just trying to, like, manage it all a little bit better. And some of that means, like, owning I'm not going to be there. But, I knew it was coming, and I've told you I'm not going to be there. So
yes,
rather
and
I'll
buy you a treat afterwards. My go-to chocolate. Look, here you go. Here's a chocolate. Maybe I'm, reinforcing a bad eating habit there, which is going to come back and bite me. But like I love chocolate. Girls just love chocolate.
I think that with the twins already, I'm creating emotional eaters, because whenever they're upset and I don't know how to fix them, I'm like, let me get you a biscuit. Let me find a biscuit.
What else can you give it? Oh, a toy. You give them a toy. Give them a bit of bubble wrap that. Squish the buttons. I don't know.
That's what makes them feel good.
Hi. There was someone popped his head in. Okay, the next question is, what's your greatest fear and how do you deal with it?
Oh, I don't know. I've got a few. Definitely success is something that scares the pants off me. But I'm trying really hard to work on the mindset around that, because I feel like I'm ready to be successful, but there's a fear that I have to deal with in order to get there. And the other thing is in relation to that kid stuff, and it's just like I just want to have done well as a mum, and it scares me to not do that, to not be present enough, or to not teach them how to be good, kind people in the world and happy. I want them to be, I don't care what they do career-wise and life-wise, but I want them to grow up and know how to find their own happiness.
Yeah, that's a big one though. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of unhappy people out there, and I think it's really up to the individual to make themselves happy. They can't rely on someone else to make them happy. And I think Will Smith said that, like, when you go into a relationship, you have to make yourself happy. You can't expect your partner to make you happy. You can support each other in times of need, but you need to be a full cup, put it that way, rather than like, you need to fill the other half of my cup. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
And that's a big part of why I'm in business and why I do what I do, as busy as it is and as, you know, missing some school stuff as it is, because I want my kids to see me happy and me doing those things. I don't the best quote, other than what I was telling about the advice from Mum, the best quote I've ever seen in terms of parenting is, my father didn't teach me how to live. He lived and let me watch. And that's always been that driving, you know, like, I can't tell them that they can do anything they want in the world if I'm, you know, working a dead-end job that I hate and coming home and being miserable. And so I want to do what I want in the world and also tell them that they have the choice to do that too.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was really good at giving me the ability to dream big.
Yeah.
But we both didn't know how to get there. There was like no steps. It's like, I've got all these massive dreams. I don't know how to get there. And I think now, as I'm getting older, and like, there's so many resources out there to help you take at least the first step, and then the next step and the next step to get there. That was the big chunk that I was missing. So for me, with my kids, I can help them with some steps, and they'll have to find the rest. But my dad actually gave me the ability to dream really big. But then I was a bit depressed because I never reached those dreams. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong?
I get that.
So, yeah, love him to bits though. Okay, so I've got 3 quick questions, and then I'll let you get on with your afternoon. Question number 1, have you signed up to any websites that you actually find value in receiving their emails?
Oh, I don't read any. I've signed up to so many, and so many I love. Like, I'll sign up for the opt-in, and the opt-in's really useful or whatever, but I'm terrible. I haven't read any emails regularly other than like actual sent to me client emails all of this year, I think. And that changed a lot in the last 2 years because the twins keep my life so busy. When I have time for me, I've had to really like narrow down what I do with that. And I used to consume a lot of content, and now not so much.
You know, just want to talk on that point a little bit, and it's just popped into my head, is like, a lot of business coaches and that say, oh, your email list is really important. You've got to grow that email list. But pretty much from every mum that I've been interviewing, they said, oh, we don't read any emails. So how do we get to those mums? And I'm telling you now, not through emails. You've got to find them somewhere else, because we aren't reading any emails except for, like, as you say, the client ones, not the generic ones.
Definitely.
Question number 2, what's one piece of advice you would give your pre-baby self?
It's going to change so much, and as much as you think you know it's going to change, you've no idea. Life will never be the same again is basically it, and that's okay. And I love being a mum. I feel really grateful for my kids, but I also do grieve the life before them. I am
so do I.
I am very ambitious and, you know, have lots of things that I want to do with my time, and a lot of those things I don't get to do, particularly when they're little. Like, my 9-year-old is like my beacon of hope, because I know the twins will get to that point of independence when I will have some more space for me again. But yeah, it's okay that you're sad about how different life is. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're not grateful and happy about the changes as well.
And I'm sure that sadness is not long-lived. Like, I think it's just a bout of like, oh, I remember going on a plane by myself.
Yeah.
And now you don't get to do that.
It's like grief. It's like when you end a relationship or someone dies, you're not regretting having known them, but there's, things change. And I feel like I grieve my life before kids. I don't want to go back to that. I don't want the kids to not be here, but I do grieve that experience because this one is so different.
Yes, absolutely. A final question, Elle. What is the most useful and or useless baby item you have?
The most useful baby item I had with the twins was absolutely my breast pump. I hated it with a passion, and I pumped for 10 months and I never stopped hating it. Right up until that very last time I used it, I would be like, I don't want to get on it. I don't want to do this. I hate it. It hurts. I'm angry. But it did mean that my partner could do some of the night feeds. My little boy was a very sleepy feeder and took a long time to put on weight. So it meant that I could breastfeed him where I probably wouldn't have been able to do that for as long. So it was an absolute godsend, but I did detest it with a passion. And in our experience, the most useless baby item has been their cots. All three of my kids hated their cots and have done very little sleeping in them.
So are they co-sleeping with you?
Yeah, generally. The twins did use them a lot more because I couldn't keep two babies in bed with me all night, all the time. There was not enough room. But even that, there just has felt like so many nights where the cots just didn't get used much. So,
that's a shame. I loved my cot. My kids went straight into the cot, hospital bed to the cot. Because I was like, I don't think I'd be able to sleep. I reckon I'd roll over and they'd be gone, suffocate them or something.
No, co-sleeping worked for us, and we, the cots are great, but they haven't been used nearly as much as I would have liked.
Try and sell them on.
Yes, they're in great condition.
Mint condition. Fantastic, Elle. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure speaking with you this afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been lots of fun.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Busy Mum podcast. Don't forget to let your friends know and also subscribe to the iTunes channel and also my socials if you want to see what I'm getting up to. A brand new episode is out every Monday morning, just like clockwork.